All right. Hi, everybody. Let me get further back so you can see me. This is Stephanie with Touching Worlds, and today is a special edition of my free demo classes that I call Touching Worlds Together. So as we bring 2020 to an end, I thought it would be nice to do an extra class. So welcome everybody. I got a Facebook Live and I got Instagram and I got my Zoom class people online and a recording to try to put it on YouTube later. So let's get a little bit centered. I have a singing bowl here and I'm gonna use this as a centering sound. It's a beautiful singing bowl that I have today to bring us closer together and center us. Also, we are going to do a move from this book. If you haven't seen it before, it's Sola Towers, Practicing the Tao Te Ching. I just bought it, and he's on Insight Timer, and that's how I saw him. And he's written a lot of books, and so he has a qigong movement for one of the lessons. So there's 81 lessons, right? This is a philosophy book, and you practice it. So this is one movement that we're going to do. Is called Gathering Qi from the Four Corners. It was from 69. And the line or the verse from the Tao Te Ching. So highly recommend this book. So I wanted to show that to you before we begin. So we do turn directions. You can be in a chair or standing. It doesn't matter. He also talked about that too as well. So you just want to, if you are standing, it's a little bit easier to stand right now, but if we're in a chair, we want to achieve a vertical alignment. So we want the hips, shoulders, ears in alignment. We want to imagine a string pulling us up towards our ceiling or the sky. We want to feel our feet grounded into the roots of the earth. Even if you can make it 3 times longer than your body length, that's great. Or a sinking feeling. So if you're standing, your knees would be slightly bent, your pelvis would be slightly tucked in, chin is also slightly tucked in, and the tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. I know it's a lot of details, but just imagine that you're there with that vertical alignment as we feel centered. And that is the beginning of the gathering of the four qi, of the four corners, I'm sorry. So once you feel centered, calming the mind, relaxing the body, perhaps noticing your breath, we can gently bring our hands together and forming an imaginary ball. So the palms are facing each other about belly height. And we just want to imagine holding a ball. And if you want to, you can also imagine opening and closing that ball, or soccer ball. You can imagine that. He mentions that as a visual. Or a bubble. Your just hands are gently on the outside of a bubble, nice and slow. And what we're trying to do is activate the energy between the palms of our hands. So we want to feel a little bit of resistance. If you're new to qigong and you haven't felt resistance before, you can just imagine. But we generally like to do the open and close until you feel a little bit of a resistance, a little bit of pressure, tingling, swirling, whatever that may be. And then when we gently bring the hands, we pace the palms up, and then we gently rise up. So we bring the hands up, and I'm going to face you the camera, pretending this is the direction of the east. So if you're not facing east, let's pretend. So we bring the hands to the top of our head. This is our byway point. And then we gently hold it, bringing that energy from above. And then we flip the hands. I can see it's, I might have to tilt my Zoom camera a tiny bit to make sure you can see my hands. So we want to flip the hand, fingers interlace, gently pushing up towards the sky, like a little bit of a stretch. Then we flip the hands down and we gently hold it at the top of the head. And we do this 3 times. So again, flipping the fingers, second time, gently pushing up. Looks like, and then gently bringing the energy down. So we want to imagine we're capturing maybe sunlight as we interlock the fingers, opening up to the sun. And then the hands gently coming over the head. And I think that was 3. So when we're done, we gently bring the hands down, interlace together still. And then we want to gently imagine I'm going to touch the earth in the center between our legs. And if you can't touch, just imagine. And if you're in a chair, just bend down. And then we touch to the right and to the left, touching the earth, being center where we are. And then we can gently come back to center. Palms are open. And traditionally, we would change the direction. So now we were facing east. Now we want to face south. And of course, I want you to see me. It's a little different what we do for the other 3. So I'm going to just turn a little bit sideways and imagine I'm facing the south. So palm is facing out. It gets a little bit easier after that one. So each direction has a certain symbolism, and I can go over that maybe after we're done with the Qigong. So palms are facing out. We're gently bringing up that earth energy we just touched from the earth, bringing it back up to the top of the center of our head, the byway point. Holding it there for a second, and then gently have the hands come down, going across our face, going down through our torso, which is our centering channel, and hands slowly come down. And then when they come to the belly, we want to hold that imaginary ball again, soccer ball or volleyball. And then you just want to hold it there with a few breaths, pausing. And then we gently bring the hands inward. Palms are now facing the belly. Then we trace along our waist. And then when the hands are by the hips, not touching, but tracing on the outside, we gently pull down to the earth, imagining we're letting go into the earth, that energy. So just kind of overshowing a little bit, going to tracing along if you weren't watching, and then hands go down. Good. So that is for the south. We repeat that same pattern facing to the west. So again, I'm going to face in a slightly different angle, even though but it is my west this way. So I will be facing west, but imagine that you're facing west if you're in a chair and you can't move your chair. So again, we're back in that vertical alignment. Palms are facing out. We're feeling that connection. And so the west, and I'll go over the details, what they represent, but hands slowly rise up. Coming to the byway point, holding above. This is also like your crown. If you're used to yoga, the crown chakra. And then imagine the energy going through the top of the head, and then hands slowly coming down the center. Nice and slow, shifting that energy, hands going down. And when the hands reach to the belly height, we have the hands form a ball. And let's do that again. I think I forgot to do that for the other ones. We do it 3 times. Sorry, so this is my first time teaching this pattern before. So let's do that again. We'll do it 3 times in each directions. So hands slowly rising up again. So this way we get really used to it. So sorry about that. Hands rising up, holding it at the crown chakra. And then the hands slowly coming down the center, passing our face. Fingers are pointing towards each other, palms are down. And then gently come to the center, holding that imaginary ball. We'll do it one more time. Palms open up, hands rise up. Gathering the chi from the west. And then the hands slowly coming down into the center of our torso. Imagining it's coming to our centering channel. Slowly coming down. And then holding that ball. I feel like that was 2 or 3, but let's do it one more time because I didn't say that. So open up the palms for receiving the west energy. Bringing it to the top, coming to the center. And then the hands slowly come down the center. Holding that ball. Bring it when you get to your waist, and you hold that ball for a couple breaths. Imagine that you feel that energy or that chi. And then you slowly bring the hands inward towards our belly, still not touching our belly, our body, but the palms are facing inward to our belly, our dantian, lower dantian. Then the hands go tracing around and then gently shooting that energy down as we face the west. Good. And I feel like I should do the east, but I don't know if I can go out of order because we only did it one time. Or no, sorry, for the south, we only did it one time. So I feel like let's do the south 2 more times. So imagine where your south is, and if you can't change your direction. So we only did it, I realized, I only did it one time. So imagine that you're facing south. Again, going that vertical energy, and we can do it at least 2 more times to feeling that balance. So palms are facing out for receiving in front of your body. Hands rise up, bringing that south energy, which represents summer, joy, the red rooster, the color red, and then the hands bringing all that beautiful energy, hands slowly coming down the center of the body. Also represents the heart and joy, so many good things. Then we bring our hands to that position of holding the ball when it comes to the waist, and we'll do that again. Opening up, receiving the elements from the south, from summer, bringing it to the top of our head, and then gently having it come down through the center. And then holding that ball in front of our waist. Imagine we still feel that chi, that energy. Energy is just life force energy, nothing fancier than that. And then we gently turn the palms inward because we did 2 more. Well, let's do it 1 more time so that we feel like a completion of 3 since I goofed up a little bit. So let's do it 1 more time. Bringing the hands up, opening up, receiving the beautiful energy from the south. Bringing it into the center of our body. And then hands slowly coming down the center. And then holding that imaginary ball. Feeling a little bit of pressure. If you don't feel any pressure, imagine. Bringing the hands inward, tracing along the outside of our hips, and then sending that energy back into the earth. So that is a correction because I only did it 1 time, so we did 3 times again. So imagine now we're going to face the north. So I know we did the east, that was a slightly different one. So we did the south, we did the west, now we have the north left. So for the north, this is actually my north, so I'll keep facing you so that you can see me doing this again. So we're still in that beautiful vertical alignment. If you're sitting on the edge of your chair, preferably upright, keeping that beautiful posture. So palms out for receiving the north. So the north is a blackish blue color. It represents kidneys, which is water, also an element of water. So there's a lot of different beautiful elements. So we're going to gently rise the hands up, receiving the beautiful energy from the north, which is winter, which we are in right now. Bringing it to the top of our head, opening up the chest if we can with the elbows, and then gently have the fingers almost touch, pointing to each other, palms facing down, going down the center of our torso. Good. And then let's do that again, holding that ball for a second while we repeat this, and we're going to repeat. And then we flip the palms over for receiving again, bringing in the gathered energy from the north again. Bring it to the top of our head, center, and then slowly bringing it down the center channel of our body. Nice and relaxed shoulders, relaxed body. And we hold that ball of chi again. And so we'll do it 1 more time. Pausing for a moment, feeling centered. Let's do that again. Palms facing out, receiving, gathering the north energy, the stillness of winter. Bring it to the center, and then slowly bring it down to the center of the body. With your breath is always good. And then we get to the torso, again, holding that imaginary ball. Imagine that you feel it if you don't. Pausing here for a moment. and then bringing the energy into the ball, into our torso, receiving that energy, bringing it around the waist, not touching, but tracing, and then sending it back into the earth. And noticing our position as we stand here. This is the center of the earth. So this is the spleen. So there's 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine, and there's 5 seasons. And this, Qigong movement, the center represents the other element, which is the spleen, yellow dragon. That's the color yellow. That's the earth element. So we're in the center. We're connected to earth. It's also the season they call Indian summer, or it's in between seasons is another way of describing that season. The 5th season, because growing up in my culture, there isn't 5 seasons, they're just 4, right? But in the Chinese culture, there's 5 seasons. And being in the center, color yellow, represents spleen, that's the digestion system as well. So just imagine that being the center. So that is a brief synopsis of that movement. We could do it again, going through it one more time, feeling more centered, or I want to let my Zoom folks decide, or do you like to do some spring force Qigong? I thought that would be fun too. Any preference? No preference with the Zoom folks, okay. Well, let's go a little bit deeper with that 4 directions, and maybe we can have time to do the spring force Qigong too. So let's do it. I won't probably do it as much talking, and then that way, hopefully I don't screw up like I did the first time. So I'm gonna kind of imagine the different directions because I don't want you to lose my sight. And again, if you can't move either, imagine you're facing those directions too. So in that vertical alignment, palms are facing up, receiving as we feel that connection with the earth, or actually the palms can be into. And then we bring the hands together towards our torso, imagining feeling that ball of chi, and then open and close. 3 times, keeping it within your body frame. And exhale, good. We'll do it one more time. And we're imagining we're gathering the energy from the north. So the palms raise up, bringing it up to the center of our byway point. So the east represents springtime. It's the liver. And then we're going to place the fingers up, push up. And a nice little spine stretch if you're able to do it. If you can't, just imagine that you're doing it. Bringing the hands back to the center, bringing that sun energy up into this, our byway point. Lock the fingers, gently push up. We do it 3 times. Gentle stretch. So yes, east is spring, representing the liver, which is wood. And then one more time, absorbing that beautiful sun. It's a color green, it's the green dragon. And then we bring the hands slowly down. The fingers down. The east has come down to the center. It's a slightly different pattern the first time. And then we gently, if you can touch the ground, if you can't, just imagine, gently touch the center and then your right foot, bringing up the earth energy, and then the left, then bringing the hands up, coming back to that vertical alignment. And now we want to slightly change, imagine if you can't face south, now we face south. Okay, so that was the east, a lot of good energy. Now it's the south, it's the red dragon, so hands open up. And this is the same pattern for the other directions too. So hands rise up, coming to the center, and then the hands slowly come down the center and the byway, holding it a little bit up at the ground, and the hands slowly come down. And then when you get to your torso, the hands face each other, holding an imaginary ball. Holding that there for a little bit. Then we can turn the hands over, receiving again, or holding an energy ball. That's what he says in the book. Like a soccer energy ball, bringing it back up to the ground for the second time, gathering the beautiful sun and summer energy, which is very vibrant, right? Summer is the heart energy, it's the color red. Bringing it slowly into the body. When it gets to the torso, forming that energy ball. And we'll do it one more time facing the south. Opening up the hands. Hands slowly rising up. Gathering the element of, summer of the south. And then the hands slowly coming down. And then holding this imaginary ball. Pausing, just noticing, imagine you're facing south if you can't. Feeling all those good feelings of summer. Then bringing the hands inward towards our torso. Trace along the outside of the hips. And then gently sending it down into the earth. So that's the south. So the next is the west, and this is actually my west. So we're back in that same beautiful alignment after you turn. Palms are facing out. And then we're going to gently rise our hands out, receiving the chi from the west, which is the fall. Hands slowly come down. The fall is metal. Some people think it's just metal, but it's also could be gold. Hands slowly coming down, bringing that energy down. It's also representative of the lungs. We open up the palms, doing it again. Oh, sorry, I forgot to hold the ball. Holding the ball after receiving that energy from the west, which is fall. Opening up. It's the season of metal, or it's the element of metal. And it's the lungs, the organ point, holding it above the head. And then hands slowly come down the center for the second time. And it's the white is the color. So we'll do it one more time, holding that ball. So yeah, it's the white tiger is the animal. It's color white as well. Opening up last time. Gathering the chi of the west, or these elements that you think about. Holding at the top of the head. Hands slowly coming down the center. Now when the hands get to the waist, we form that ball, imaginary ball. Feeling a little resistance between our hands. Bringing the hands inward, centering that energy now to our middle of our body. Then we trace along the outside to the side of our hips, and then sending that energy down into the earth. Good, and we'll do facing the north. All right, so hands are facing out. Imagine that you're facing north if you're not. I am actually facing north now. And we want to open our hands up, receiving the kidney energy. It's a color dark blue or black. Holding at the crown for a little bit, and then the hands slowly coming down. It's the water element. And it's the black turtle is the image. Holding that ball as your hands come to the waist, pausing for a moment. And then opening up and receiving the element of winter. Holding it to the center to receive at the top of the head. That's called the byway point. And then it comes down the centering channel in the front of our body, just balancing that connection that we have with the earth. And let's do it one more time, holding that ball. And the last time, now opening up, receiving. And hands slowly come down. Slower the better. With your breathing is great. So it's nice and slow, centering. And then we hold that imaginary ball at our belly height. Again, imagine that you feel it if you don't. It can be like a little bit of pressure. And then when we finish, we turn the hands inward towards our torso, trace along the outside of our hips, and then sending that, energy to the earth, whatever you didn't use. And taking a moment to be aware of our position on earth, that we're here in the fifth element, fifth season, and as we are here on the body, which is the center, which is the spleen, or yellow dragon, color yellow, and it's the Indian summer, or in between seasons is the actual season, which is the spleen element. Some people add the stomach to it too, so because the spleen and stomach are together. But just imagining that's the directions. So that is the movement from Sola Towers that I learned in his book. So I can show that book to you again. I know it's my first time teaching it, so I can also sing a link. I'll put it on my website. I know, hi, Storeen, watching. This is my first time teaching this movement, which I like. It was on number 69. So it's about welcoming all that good energy in the forward direction. So we might go a little bit over if you guys are okay with that. I thought I also do a little bit of spring forest qigong. So you can just do the standing or in a chair, and we'll do a condensed version since I didn't think that would take a half an hour to teach. I was thinking 20 minutes. So let's get centered. Again, that vertical alignment I talked about, or if you're in a chair, on the edge of your chair, and we want to gently bounce. And it's mainly a bouncy motion from your knees. So if you can't see very well that image, but it's a very gentle bounce. So if you're sitting, you can just kind of bounce up and down more from your upper torso, but just trying to create movement, making sure your wrists are moving. So that's really important. There's a lot of energy channels that go through the wrist. So just gently flopping the wrist. If you can't bounce that much in a chair, just imagine what you can't do. So it's very gentle. And then we gently bring the hands up above our head. So again, this is great for your immune system, lymph drainage. I know it looks really funny. I think my neighbors can attest to that if they see me doing this, walking by on their nature trail. I know it looks like I'm giving a big high. I usually have to step back away from the window when I do that so people don't see me. Otherwise, it looks really funny. But this is a really good move, making sure your wrists flop and getting that lymph drainage. So if you can't lift it above your head, imagine, or try it laying in a bed. And then you can slowly bring the hands down and then turn your torso side to side. Keeping that gentle. So this is just a warm-up move that we do in Spring Forest Qigong. I recently got certified a month ago as a group leader, so I can lead classes now officially. Before we do little snippets, and this is going to be a very small snippet too. So after doing that, we do a little tapping. I'll come closer. So we want to tap where your eyebrows are. We're going to do it 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to go below the cheekbone 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to do a little cupping, which means there's a lot of hollow area at the top of the head, front to back. So a little cupping around the head. So these are a lot of good energy movement points. Now we're going to do the base of the head, and you can use your hand to hold it if that helps. If it doesn't, you can do that and just cup 9 times. We can also rub the C7, which is that little protruding part of our neck, just rubbing it 9 times in both directions, sending good energy there. And then we can do the arms real quickly, cuppings. We start with the left and not, so I'll flip it. We'll all flip it so it looks like the U. So cupping down the hands, flipping the wrist. We start with the palms up first. That's the lung meridian. Then we do the heart meridian. And this has so many good benefits. And we do it at least 3 times. You can do it 9 or a lot more than you like. And we'll switch to the other. Cupping down on the outside, from the shoulder to the wrist. And keeping that cupping shape so it shouldn't hurt. And that is just a brief, and let's do the knees quick. And it's copying the same thing on the knees. I think I have in the video. So do it 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back of the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. To the left, which I'll do the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the other. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are kind of just warm-up movements. We do it again similarly at the end called harvesting chi. So since this is a gratitude theme of receiving energy, let's do the gratitude movement. So you can do the sitting or standing. Always better to do standing if you're able, but sitting's just as good too. So knees are bent, we're in that vertical alignment. We're gonna bring our fingers together in the center. So more of the pressure on the fingertips. Then you bring the palms together too. But feel a little bit more pressure on the fingertips. And then we want to just gently bow a little bit forward as we do this. So sitting or standing, and this is a gratitude position. And usually we do the moments for a couple minutes. So feeling comfortable, just gently bending forward. Feeling that gratitude. And then coming back to center. So it's a very subtle, about 30%, leaning a little bit forward. And then gently coming back. And let's do that again. And now think about each time you bend down. I know I talk about gratitude, but try to think of one specific thing that you're grateful for. It may be the snow removal truck machine. I can hear it. I don't know if it's coming on the recording, but I can hear the people shoveling snow with the trucks outside. I'm very grateful that I don't have to do that myself. And then feeling the gratitude of perhaps all the good things that did happen in 2020. I know it's hard to think sometimes. There has been a lot of amazing things, such as this virtual programming, correct? I wouldn't have probably done this every week or bi-weekly if COVID didn't happen. So I'm very grateful that we have this virtual community online. Think about what you're grateful for. I'm grateful for the Zoom technology. Just really feeling that gratitude in your heart. If you don't feel the gratitude, just think the gratitude, and eventually you'll start feeling it. Perhaps imagining smiling. Bending a little bit forward. And then coming back. And I'm just remembering that I forgot to do some of the, after we do the bouncing and the tapping, I forgot to do this opening part that traditionally I didn't do because I wasn't certified, but now I am. So this is my first time trying to teach a Qigong class. So I'm trying to do a lot of first times today. So maybe that's what 2021 means for me. But as we bend forward, you want to smile. You want to start your internal love engine, is what he calls. That's what smile is. So we want to have a smile on your face. And you also want to set your intention, ask for the practice. So that's what I call it. But what he says is set your, ask your guides, your masters, your teachers to come with you in this journey right now as we're doing these movements. So it could be, I like the word guide. He uses the word master. But I think about it as teachers. So imagine that you have teachers that you, maybe they're still alive or maybe they have passed on. But what is it about them that you really, like? Invite them in to join your energy or just the memories. Your body can feel the memories of them, what they mean to you. And perhaps you want to give gratitude to your teachers, to your guides, to whoever means a lot to you. And it's all different for everybody. Some people it is spiritual leaders, some people it's past people who've passed on. And this is a typical thing what we do in Spring Forest Qigong. You just do the same movement for a good 5 to 10 minutes, going very deep in the movement, finding your body's rhythm. Generally, it's with your breath, breathing a little bit as you go down, but it could be the opposite. It doesn't have to match, but it's just matching your movement with your breath. Becoming completely still so that all your energy channels can open up. As you feel gratitude and joy in your life, it frees your body up to do what it needs to do, right? And let's do it a few more times. And if you want, my hair is in my face, it's tickling my face. Let's, you can do a little bit of a neck dolphining move. So you just gently bring the neck up, gently tuck it in, and then doing that again. So doing what feels right as you bend a little bit forward. Slower the better. I know I'm trying to do this a little bit faster than usual because I went over my other moves, but slower the better. And making sure you feel comfortable. And let's do it one more time. Really feeling that gratitude. And then bring up to that vertical alignment. Then we can let go of the hands, bring them to our side. And that's just one of the movements. So that's kind of an intro. If you did Spring Forest Training class, which I'm going to offer at Apple Valley Community Center virtually coming up soon, or just private lessons, you can see me. But you do a couple of movements, 5 minutes or so more each time, and similar. So, all right, let's do our cool down. So it's kind of a harvesting chi, so we want to rub our hands together. Getting between the fingers is really good as the energy channels go. Start there. We're going to go up the bridge of our face, around to the side, making a heart shape. So feeling that gratitude, circling around, our hands slowly coming down. Do it at least 3 times, but you can do more. So if you have glasses, it is ideal to take them off as you rub, but for time's sake, that's okay. You can imagine when you're maybe at bedtime, you can rub it. So then we can do another one. You can comb your hair instead of cupping. Comb your hair through. I know that feels really good. Comb your hair. And then we can do that cupping again at the base of the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rubbing the C7. Rubbing along the C7 point. Both directions is good. Let's rub our ears. So show off your beautiful ears. And we want to rub the outside, pull the earlobe down at the end. And that is very good. This represents like a fetus, the earlobe in traditional Chinese medicine. So a lot of energy points. So just rubbing this can do really good things. If you're feeling weird things happening to you, this is a really good move to do. All right, good. So now let's do the armpits, or the arm, well, we'll do the armpits too, but let's do the elbows. There we go, the elbow socket. So we want to do that cupping, and we want to do it 9 times. Left hand first, so it's going to look opposite. If you're, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Other arm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we can do the armpits. We're gonna look really cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keeping that cup shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is really good for your lymph system. Also the side of the torso, keeping that cup shape and doing down the outside of the arm. And then the other side, about 3 times. So this is really good for the lymph systems, breast health as you do the outside. All right, and then let's do the kidneys. So we put our hands, you can rub your hands too a little bit more if you want. And then we send good energy to our kidneys, and we're gonna gently cup them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're gonna take the back of the hands, flip the hands, and we're gonna rub against the kidneys in both directions. So this is a good thing to do. This is what Chinese medicine people do to help with kidney stones by gently cupping. So be very gentle if you have a history to do it very gently, but your intention is just to send good energy. And if you can, put your hands on the back of your kidneys holding it, and we'll do a slight dolphin move of the spine. So the best you can in a chair, but standing. So you bend forward, leading with your neck, then bend the knees, gently push up, and then rise up. So this is a really good movement with your spine, bending the knees when you go down, then pushing up, opening up the neck, bending forward, bending the knees, gently pushing up. And let's do that again one more time. Bending the knees, pushing up. So the spine is connected to a lot of organs, so it's really nice from an energy point to also do that dolphin of the spine the best you can within your limits. Always listen to your body. Always have to mention on my website, I have a disclaimer page, which is always do what's comfortable for you. This is a free practice that we just did. I do have flyers, information on my website to check out. So that is the Spring Forest Qigong. So I know it went a little bit over. Typically I try to do 40 minutes. But I'm so grateful. I got a few people on Facebook. It looks like Connie right now. I love her. So I want to sign off on Instagram in case, we got some people watching. Very nice. Thank you, Maham, my Toronto family. So I'm going to end it. Thank you for coming. Okay, and now. Okay, so thank you everyone on the mic recording. Thank you everyone on Facebook. Thanks for coming. Okay, then I'm going to end here.